Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to play with a couple of areas in the body that we don't play with very often. And we're going to start our class that way once we get centered. And the two areas of the body are the forearms, right, from elbow to hand, and the feet. So important, both of those. So grip strength, right? Our ability to grip things, one super important just for life, but also several studies that are saying your grip strength is an indicator of kind of longevity of how long you're going to live. And I think it has to do with just being strong, right? Not losing some of these essential movements. And then the feet, you know, there's so much we could say about the feet, keeping the ankles, the feet, the toes, not just strong, but flexible, right? So we're going to play there a little bit and then we'll get moving and grooving. And if you aren't on my email list, you need a washcloth or something you can scrunch up with your feet. And ideally a couple of super light weights. These are 3 pounds. But 1 pound might be enough, 2 pounds might be enough. All right. So with that, go ahead and sit well, everyone. And how you sit is up to you, right? We never sit in pain, so we sit in a way that makes sense for our bodies and our joints. And then just start to feel yourself really centered. Taking the breath in nice and deeply. And exhaling and letting it go. Always in our yoga practice and maybe periodically throughout the day, we want to work on deep breaths in and deep exhales out, making sure we're moving that flow of breath through the lungs so nothing is getting stale. Deep breath in. Exhaling it out. Good. Few more right here. Good. Last one. And exhale. Good. And then open the eyes, everyone. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to your heart. Interlace the hands and press them out. So already we're doing just some work with the hands, right? Hands, wrists. Breathe. Notice where your thumbs are and try to press them back in line with the rest of the hand and press up slowly. Good. Exhale, curl it in. Curl, curl. Good. And take it up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Good. One more. Reach it up. Exhale, curl. And I want you to look at your hands. We do everything the same every time, usually. So I want you to look at which finger's on top and switch it. So your other index or thumb is on top. It's going to feel weird because we don't do it, right? And then press out again. Try to bring the thumbs back. Mine want to curl into the palms. So try to press them back. Take it up. Exhale, curl it in. Good. Reach out. Exhale, curl. Good. 3 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl. And 4. Exhale. Good. Last one. Take it up. Exhale down. And then keep the fingers interlaced. Squeeze the fingers together and try to pull them apart. Good. Breathe. Just pull, pull, pull. And then let them go. Whew, shake them out. All right. So being mindful of how you're sitting. And again, I don't care how you're sitting right now, but just be mindful of it. grab one or both of your blocks and stack them up nice and high. I wish I knew if everybody had two blocks, but I think we'll just start, or two weights, but I think I'll just start with one. So you're going to take your blocks and rest your whole forearm on the blocks. Your wrist is going to drop down from the block, or your hand's going to drop from the block. Now be mindful, right? If you're dealing with carpal tunnel or some other issues, I do want you to be mindful here. And then just let the weight kind of hang in on the fingers. Just let it hang for a second. So stretching this front part or this inside part of the forearm. Now you're going to keep your forearm planted on the block. Go ahead and take the weight to a neutral so that the wrist is straight, and then just curl in from the wrist and let it come down. Good. Take it up. Now try to keep your forearm down, right? You're just curling at the wrist. This is forearm work. Your other hand can do anything it wants. It can be anywhere that feels stabilizing for you. And you can change out the legs if they get cranky. All right, squeeze. This is slow work. We've got 5 left. 5. Big deep breath. 4. 3. And 2. And 1. Good. So neutral wrist, turn your wrist over. Now, if you've got 3 pounds or more, this might be a bit heavy. I just want you to drop the weight. So stretching through this top side of the wrist. And then we're going to do 10 here of lifting from this position. So lift and lower. 2, 3. When you lift, give it a good squeeze up, like, right? And 4. And 5, squeeze. 6, 7, yep. 8, 9, I feel this one more, we do it less, and 10, and then just release that side for now. We're going to switch to the other side just so we can give the legs a break and give that side a break. We're going to come back to it. So resting your whole forearm on, start by letting that wrist drop down, let the weight hang in the fingers, and just hold. Switch out the legs if they're getting chatty. And then come to a neutral wrist. Good. And let's curl it up and down for 10. So 1 and 2, 3. This one wants to move around more. 4, right? So maybe your less dominant side, it really isn't as strong. Something to think about. And 6 and 7. Remember to pause at the top. 8 and 9. Woo, I feel this side. And 10. Good. And then turn the wrist over or turn the arm over and just drop the weight down. And here we go. Lift. 1. Remember to pause at the top. 2. This is harder for most. 3. Whoo, yeah. And 4. 5. This is very telling information. 6. This side is not nearly as strong for me. And 8. Shame on me. And 9. Good. Last one. And 10. And let go. Good. Release. Switch back to the other side. Shake out those legs. Make sure your posture is not getting too yucky. All right. So we're back to that first side. I want you to just turn the weight over and turn it up. So you're kind of just turning it like you're going to shake out a salt shaker. And 4. Yep. And 5. The forearm does not have to stay on the block fully. 6. If it's lifting at the elbow, that's okay. And 9. And 10. Good. And then just hold it sideways, right? So the weight is straight up and down. And lift from here. There's not much movement. You're going to drop it down and lift. 2, 3. Ooh, yeah. 4. This would be a good one for cease. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. And release it. Shake that hand out. Switch sides. These are really simple things that you can do. They can help with elbow issues, right? All right, so the weight is up and down, and you're gonna pour out the salt shaker. It always helps to have a visual, right? So that you're going, I'm not sure exactly what she's doing. Oh yeah, we're pouring out the salt shaker, or we're pouring a glass of water, or something more inviting. Good. And 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. Good, almost there. And 10. Good. Turn that. What did we just do? Betty, oh yeah, that's right. Sideways. Betty, what did we do? Drop that weight down toward the blocks and then lift from the side. The weight is straight up and down. 2, 3, not a lot of movement here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah. 9. Woo. And 10. Good. Drop the weight and just shake out both. Take your hand around your wrist, right at the forearm, and just give it a good squeeze all the way up to the elbow a couple times. And the other side, give it a good squeeze down, all the way down. Good. If you have 2 blocks, go ahead and grab 2 weights. Goodness gracious. And then take them out to the sides and just let them rest. Even if your legs are straight, right, they can rest on those legs. And then curl the wrist right here. Just curl and hold. Squeeze, 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 and then come to a bicep curl. Now, neck issues and stuff, be careful here. I want you to press both up. If you don't have 2 weights, you can use 2 cans of tomato soup or nothing at all, right? And then bend the elbows straight down, turn them out, slowly release, and then take it down. Good. Curl the wrists, turn them and take them up, take them down, and release. This is a pretty light weight, so it should be okay for most. Curl the wrists, curl into a bicep, take them up over the shoulders, bend the elbows, turn, and release. Good. Set the weights aside, shake the hands. We're almost done, almost done. This is not a weight class, so I don't want to stay in the weights too much. Again, be super mindful here. We're going to take the arms out, but keep them low. Turn them out to the side. Drop the shoulders and curl the wrists. Whoo! Okay, shoulder work, back work, all kinds of work. And release. Curl the wrists. Release. Curl the wrists. Release, curl. We got 2 left. And curl, woo, and curl. Good, bring them in. See if you can straighten them out. If it's too much, let them go. In and out. This is 3, we're only doing 5. Out, 4, and out, and 5, and out. Turn the weights down, woo, and let them go. Holy moly, good. Set those weights aside. That's it for the forearms. That's it for the forearms. Good, so sit up really tall. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the hands, press them up, stretch all that out. Exhale, curl it in and reach up. Exhale, let it go. Roll it out. All right, feet. The feet have their time in the light. So the first thing we're going to do, and again, you want to be comfortable. So for some of you, you're just going to cross, right? The knee over. For some, you can come into a little figure 4. For some, you're just hanging out here. First thing I want you to do is lace each finger between each toe on one side. So you're pushing your fingers between your toes. Now, if your toes are real tight together, maybe it's just fingertips. Don't be crazy about it, right? I mean, don't overdo it, but just try to get some space between those toes. Good. And then squeeze your fingers and curl your toes down. And then lift and open. Good. Squeeze. Woo. And open. Good. Squeeze and curl. So the open is just releasing. One more. Squeeze and release. And then imagine you're trying to pull your toes out with your fingers. So you're just pulling up on them, pull up on them, and let them go. Ooh, shake that out. And then same foot, I want you to just see if you can spread the toes out and create space between each toe, just on the floor. If you can, if there's one toe being stubborn, maybe you use your finger and just see if you can create a little space between all of them. And then press your toes into the floor and lift all your toes except for your big toe. And then press all those toes down and just lift your big toe. Yep, good. Do that again. Big toe down, 4 or so toes up. All those toes down, big toe, and release. Good. Shake that out. Switch sides. Easy so far. You're taking your fingers in between your toes. You can even use your thumb on the outside of your big toe, right? Where we can get bunions and things. And then scrunch your toes around that, around the fingers, and open them up. Good. Scrunch and open. Hang in there with me. I know we want to get moving. Scrunch and open. Scrunch and open. Good. And then try to pull those toes out. Pull, pull, pull. And release. Place that foot on the floor. Spread the toes as wide as you can, one toe away from the other. Maybe use your hand. For me, it's my little pinky toe wants to stay in more. And press those toes into the floor. And then press your big toe down and lift the other toes up. Try to keep space between them. And then lower those toes, lift your big toe. And switch. And switch. And release. Both feet out. Big toes down, rest of the toes up. Really stretch them as high up as they'll go. And then lower all the rest of the toes and lift the big toes up. All your toes down, flex both feet and hold. Just flex as much as your body is willing to, like pressing those feet up. Breathe, really flex, right? Here's the muscles right here. Front, the shin muscles, tibialis anterior. And down. Woo! All right, we are almost done with this. Grab your washcloth. We're going to play with this washcloth a couple of times, but we're going to start with it seated. Take the washcloth under one foot. I want to make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. So let me just tuck my mat in and I can scoot back a little bit. So it's under one foot and you're going to scrunch that washcloth up and then spread it out. So scrunch it up. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Let me turn sideways. Scrunch. You're lifting that arch and release. Scrunch. Hold and release. Scrunch. I know. Working with the arch. And release. Last one. Scrunch and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, pick your washcloth up. Just pick it up and hold on to it. This could come in handy sometime when you can't bend down. You gotta pick up your washcloth and let it go. Whoo, good. Shake it out. Go to the other side. You never know. All right, that washcloth's under the other foot. Scrunch and hold. And then release. So arch work, right? Some of us have high arches, some have normal, some have flat. I think this can be good work for everybody. Scrunch it up and release. Scrunch. If you get a calf spasm, then stop what you're doing and flex your foot, okay? Flex, bringing the toes up toward the knee to release that. Good. One more scrunch. Scrunch and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can pick up your washcloth. I know. Breathe and let it go. You never know when that'll come in handy. All right. So set your washcloth aside for now, everybody. That's it for the floor work for now. Move everything out of the way that's on your mat. If you want cushion for your knees, go ahead and do that. Come to table pose. Have your blocks nearby. So start in a regular table pose. Press your right leg back. Be on the ball mound of your right foot and then press back toward that right foot to feel the stretch in the calf muscle in the back of that lower leg. And then come up toward the toes. So we're doing footwork still. Press back and forward. Good. Press back. If your calf muscle is tight, you're going to feel this stretch. And forward. Just one more. Press back and forward. From here, lift the leg. Let's find balancing table. Squeeze that glute. Press out through the left arm. Breathe. Balancing table, everybody. We got this. Breathe. Lower that down. Lower the legs. Shake out the wrists. And let's go to the other side. Left foot back. You're on the ball mound. When you're ready, press back. See if you can find that stretch. And forward. And back. And forward. Good. Reach the heel back as if you could touch that heel to the floor. And forward. One more. Press it back. And forward. And then lift the leg. Tone the belly. Level out those hips. Reach with the right arm. Breathe. And release. Good. Shake that out, everybody. Shake out the wrists. So the next one I want you to do, again, be mindful, right? So wrist strength, forearm strength, finger strength, all that stuff. If you can, I want you to come to soft fist so that your wrist is straight up and down. If your fingers hurt, you could try putting a blanket down for extra cushion. But I want you to push out of that grip, out of those wrists, and just keep the weight straight over your wrist to shoulders. Just hold that. This is simple wrist strengthening. Breathe. And release. Last one here. I want you to grab your blocks. And I want you to come up to fingertips. Like you're creating little cages, right? Little cages for your fingers, little spiders. And then you're going to press into the fingers. There you go, Betty. Try not to hyperextend the knuckles by flattening them. Try to keep a bend in the knuckles. And breathe. Push straight down. And then release it. Set the blocks just where you can get to them in a minute and come to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Let's get nice and stretched, everyone. Take the tips, right, that last part of your fingers, and press them into the mat. And breathe. And then hold your down dog. Really strong downward facing dog. Imagine you're holding a beach ball. The shoulders are wide. You're pressing into the fingers. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower down. Step forward with your right leg and take your hands to your blocks. And breathe. So we don't think about these parts of our bodies much, right? Even when we're super active, we might work our biceps or our triceps or our shoulders, but how often do we work the fine motor muscles that we need to do something as simple as grab your block, right? If you were to grab the very edge of your block and just see how that feels to dig your fingers into it, right? So we're here in a lunge. Flip your back toes under, stretch the backs of your feet, lift your knee off the floor. And Betty, if you need shoes back, yeah. Feel that lunge, squeeze in through the glutes, take your hands to your knee and come on up. Find that pose, inhale, reach up. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart, interlace, press them out, lift those arms up and breathe. Good, exhale, come on down. Take your hands to your blocks, lower your knees. That's on purpose because I want you to be stretching the back of that foot. Release your toes and switch sides. Left foot is forward. Find your lunge, find your alignment. Lift the knee and hold. Squeeze through the glutes. You can play here with your blocks, right? If you take your fingertips to your blocks instead of the flat palm of your hand. And what does that feel to lift up, to lengthen out? From here, come on, take the arms up, find that nice, easy high lunge. Remember, the knee can always be down. Good, hands to heart. Interlace, look at them, switch fingers. Other side interlaces. Press it up and breathe. So weird how that feels. Exhale, release, hands come back to your blocks. Lower your knees, stretch out your back toes, and slide that knee back. So we're back in a table-ish pose, and I just want you to pat the tops of your feet. And breathe. Good, set the blocks aside for now, and come to downward facing dog. Once again, find your dog, breathe, and then take your right foot and go to the top of your right foot so that your toes are, the top of your toes are on your mat. Breathe. 1, you're gonna stay here. 2, you're gonna see if you can float into a little plankish. I'm a little bit short, so I'm gonna lengthen my hands. You're on the top of one foot and regular on the other one. Press back up to dog and release. Shake it out. And then go to the other side. You're going to the top of your other foot. For me, it's my left. You're just in down dog. Either you're going to stay here or you're going to come into plank. And breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down dog, regular down dog. And then lower your knees to the floor. Step forward with your right leg and grab your blocks again. So this time we're going to play with this front foot. The first thing I want you to do is see if you can lift the foot except for the heel. So you're flexing your foot and then point it down. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then same thing, I want you to lift the heel. Trickier, right? If you need to come high on the blocks, go ahead and do that. And then same thing here, do it for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Good, let's come back to high lunge, optionally. Back to fingertips on your block. Squeeze your belly. Hands to knee. Press into your knee. Hold here. Now remember that knee can be down. Lift your heel if you can. Tricky, Betty, be careful here. Heel is lifted. Woo. Lower it down. Take the arms up. Unscrunch your front toes. Plant your foot. And lower down to your blocks. Lower the knee. Stretch those back toes. Release the back toes. And slide the right knee back. Same thing other side. Left foot forward. Why is this important? All you got to do, right, is go to the mall, watch people walk. You find out that when we start losing this flexibility in our feet and our ankles, all kinds of other things start to happen. So first things first, I want you to lift that front part of your foot and point down. Good. Lift. 3. Squeeze it up. Pause at the top. 4 and 5. Same thing with the heel. Lift. I'm trying to move the blocks out so you can see in case you're not sure. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and lower. Come to high lunge. You've got your blocks. When you're ready, press into the fingertips. Think when you're doing this fingertip thing, think about the fact that you are squeezing and working with the forearms. So imagine that you're not only on your fingertips, but you're going to try to bring the fingertips towards each other and breathe. All right, hands to knee, lift up. Inhale, reach up. Good, listen up, just a little bit different here. As you exhale, the hands are going to come behind you and interlace as you reach back. Big deep breath. Nice, release, inhale up everybody. Woo! Exhale down to those blocks. Lower the blocks to the lowest setting. Plant your hands and step back to plank pose. And breathe. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those knees and find child's pose or hero pose. Anything that feels good. If you're in hero pose, you're stretching the fronts of the ankles, which can be really nice. Maybe curl those wrists. Maybe grab the wrists and give them a good squeeze. Okay. Little worked areas of the body, the calves, the shins, the feet, the hands, the forearms. Big deep breath. All right, so come on back, move the blocks out of the way. I want you to come down onto your elbows and interlace your fingers. Now, once you've interlaced, if you look at your hands, right, usually that one pinky finger is at the very bottom. Let that pinky finger come into the palm, in toward the center, so that you're resting on the outside, but not just on one finger. I hope that makes sense for you. And then press into your elbows. Your elbows are no more than shoulders width apart. And just pull the elbows out isometrically. Just press them out. And then squeeze them in isometrically. And then press out. Press in. Now here's the weird cue. Try to press out and in at the same time. In other words, your shoulders are super active here. Flip your toes under. We're going to dolphin pose. So it's like downward facing dog, only you're on your elbows. Big shoulder strengthener. Be mindful here. If your head is resting on the floor, I invite you to press up and out so that your head is not touching or barely touching. Big deep breath. We're not going any further than this for now. And then look toward your hands and step the feet out until you come to elbow plank. Breathe again, the forearms. Breathe, press into the side of the forearms. Find your strength. Lower your knees. Release your hands, come to child's pose or hero pose. Variation of hero pose here. Nice deep breath, everybody. Those forearm poses can be tricky. And I find them tricky. The better your yoga mat, the harder they can be because um, because they stick so much that they can get a little bit sore. All right, so we're going to do all of that, what we just did, all of it, one more time through if my brain works and I can string them all together. All right, so come on to table pose, everybody. Have your blocks where you can get to them. Come to table pose. Press into your hands, press the right leg back. I want you to press back into the heel and forward to the toe. We're just doing 3. Press back and forward, press back and forward. Lift the leg, right leg lifts, left arm lengthens. We've got balancing table here. Breathe, everyone. That's it. Place the hand down, place the knee down, come to soft fists, and let your weight go right over those wrists if you can. If this is not good for you, go back to your hands. It's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Place your hands on your blocks. Step forward with your right leg. Come into a low lunge. Pause here. Find your breath. When and if you're ready, go ahead and lift the left knee off the floor. You can take those blocks up a little bit higher. It might be helpful. You can also leave the left leg down. That front foot, you're going to lift the foot. Heel is down, obviously, and down. And lift, down, 3, squeeze it up, down, 4, squeeze, down, 5, down. See if you can lift the heel. If you want a little more resistance, you can do what I'm doing, which is elbow to knee and down. 2, 3, yep, 4, and 5. Good job, everyone. 1, you're here. 2, come on up. Nice lunge. Woo, take the arms up, squeeze the back glute, find your balance. Take your hands to your heart, interlace, press up. Breathe. Exhale down to your blocks, come to your fingertips, try to squeeze the fingers together. That's it. Set the blocks to either side of your mat, step back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees. Lower the elbows, interlace the hands, come to dolphin pose. Some of you can walk the feet a little further forward. No collapsing in the shoulders. Remember, think about both pressing the elbows out and pressing them in at the same time. Breathe. From dolphin to elbow plank. Woo! Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen up. Knees down. Press back to a short child's pose or puppy stretch. We want to get that other side done. So come up to table. Left side leg goes back. Press back into the heel stretch. It should feel a lot better. And then to your toes. Press straight back. And to the toes. Last one, press back. And to the toes. Lift the leg, balancing table on this side. Breathe, fire up that leg, fire up the glute. Good, lower that hand, lower the knee, come to soft fist, reach over those wrists and feel the strength, right? This kind of makes me think of kind of a gorilla or you know, that kind of walk on their knuckles, but just press out, like build strength here, build bone here. Good, release that, step forward, left foot. Take your hands to your blocks and breathe. Once you're there, The right knee can lift, does not have to. Then lift the toes, the front of that foot off the floor. And down. Lift for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lift the heel. 1, 2, 3. Good calf work here. 4 and 5. Good. You're back to center. Take those hands up when you're ready. And breathe. Squeeze the back glute, everybody. And then as you're balanced, hands go behind. If you interlace like you always do, just switch those fingers and open up the chest. And let go. Hands down to your blocks. Listen up. You're going to step forward. Ooh. And come on up to standing. I can't believe we're just now getting up to standing. Whew. Shake it out. Let all that blood flow get back where it belongs. And breathe. Good. And then with those hands, jazz hands, right? Squeeze and spread. Squeeze and spread. Good. One more. Squeeze and spread. And then hook your fingers. So I think you can see that. I'm just hooking those fingers around each other and pull them apart. Pull, pull, pull. Breathe. And release. Whew. Shake it out. Take both arms out. Curl your fingers. Curl your wrists. We used to do this all the time. Curl into Popeye arms. Squeeze. Touch your knuckles to your shoulders if you can. So it's a big curl of the wrist. There you go. And then keep those wrists curled. Uncurl the arms, the wrists, the fingers, and shake them all the way down. Good job, everybody. All right, so we're going to see where this one goes. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not hard, but especially knee issues may not be your thing. So you're going to take the blocks in front of you, and you're going to squeeze your fingers onto your blocks. If you have the range of motion to lower the blocks to second level, I like that better just from a stability standpoint. But you're going to squeeze your fingers into the tops of your blocks. If you can, then you're going to bend your knees and come into the ball mounts of your feet. So it's a little bit of a balance pose. You're on the ball mounts. Don't let the knees splay in or out. Just press up. From here, look more forward than down and see if you can take your hands to your heart. 5, 4, I know, 3, 2, 1, hands to blocks, straighten the feet and legs, and come to a forward fold. One more here. Fingertips, I'm just working on strength here. Press down into the fingers, try to squeeze the fingers together. Come to the ball mounts, bend the knees. So you're coming into this weird little squat thing. Now, if it's the feet that are really bothering you, take the feet down. You have to look forward. If you're looking down between your blocks, you're going to topple over. Look forward. Hands come to heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to stand up. Ooh. And shake that out. Right? You wouldn't think that would do that. But that's a tricky little booger pose. All right. So last one here. We're going to take it back down to the floor. We're going to do a chair pose right here, feet together. And then one more balance pose here by taking that foot off the floor. Easier than it may look. So take the feet together, knees together. I find if your knees are not touching, it's a way harder pose, way harder balance pose. Can always be near a wall. So feet together, knees together. Take your hands to your heart and come into your version of chair pose. And breathe. Try not to overdrop the chest. Keep the tailbone long. And then you need to lean the body forward a little to squeeze the knees together to lift one leg. And breathe. So again, I'm not looking down near my foot. I'm looking out where my gaze is going, probably 5 feet in front of me. And release and stand up. Once you stand up, give your legs and glutes a good squeeze. And then release that squeeze. Let's go to the other side. When you're ready, come on down. Remember, you can stay right here. Tone in through the belly, squeeze the knees, lift the other foot. Big deep breath. And lower. And come on up. Just moving my blocks off my mat. We're going to do both of those one more time. Add airplane pose to it as a total optional balance challenge. So we're going to start back at the same side. Remember, coming near a wall is just a wonderful thing always. I love the wall. It's a good thing. All right, hands to heart. Get really tall. Get mountain pose tall. Bring the knees together. Come into your squat. One, you're right here. This is a great strengthening pose right here. Tone in through the belly. When you're ready, shift into one foot. Whoop. Lift the other. One, you're here. Two, the leg goes back, the arms go back. Airplane pose. If you can, knees come back together. And then release. Yay! Right? Wherever you went, whatever you just did, go, yay! Awesome. We can do this. All right, other side. And then we're done with balance work today. Squeeze in. Bend the knees. Nice deep breath. Lift the leg. Hold here. One, you're here. Two, you're just going to reach everything back. Bring it back to the knee if you can. That's the harder part. And release your pause. Good job, everybody. Just go wide on your mat. Big hinge from the hips. Come on down. Maybe reach the arms forward. Get a nice long back body. Let the head go down between the arms. Walk the hands back, squeeze those legs together, and come on up. And then from standing, and you can even put one hand on a wall or a finger on the wall, just take one leg and come onto the ball mound again. So the heel's lifted. Bend the knees if you want more stretch. If you don't want more stretch, don't bend the knees. Good, just stretch it out. Release that, go to the top of your foot. Lift up nice and tall. Stretching that top foot, top ankle, right? This is another move that never gets done in normal daily life. Shake that out. If you have your washcloth while we're standing, same foot, step on that washcloth, scrunch it up. Either hold the scrunch or lift it up. And breathe. This is like a party trick, right? Balance, hold on to the washcloth. Sorry. And let that go. Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't get quite enough sleep last night. All right, same thing, other leg. First things first, just come onto the ball mound, stretch out those toes. If you want more stretch, bend the knees. Trust your body here. It might be too much. And then release that. Go to the top of the foot. This, I think we could do way more often than we do. Breathe. So I'm actually kind of pressing the hips, thigh forward to just stretch through that front foot. Don't overdo though, because this is easy place to overstretch. Shake that out. Find your washcloth. If you don't want to do the washcloth, just scrunch your foot. Try to scrunch up, lift that arch, and then see if you can pick up the washcloth. And breathe. And then let it go. Good. Clean the floor while you're at it. Okay. Set that aside. Come on back to your mat. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Step back, downward facing dog. And breathe. Lower down to your knees. Find child's pose. Good. And then come on up. We're going to do a Betty move. So we're going to do a little bit of core, and she was doing this earlier before class, and I tried it, and I really like it. It's just, we're going to play with boat pose and half boat, but I've not ever done half boat with a blanket. And so when she did it, it was really cool, and I tried it, and I like it. So you're going to fold your blanket, so it's nice and cushy. And then set it down, make sure it's nice and smooth. And then sit on the blanket, but not like all the way on it. Sit a little closer toward the front of the blanket, but make sure you're steady. You're not on the edge, right? Your whole sit bones are on the blanket. And then pause here. So we're going to go to boat pose first. I love boat pose as a core strengthener. There's tons of things you can do to play with boat pose. So first things first, just take the hands behind your thighs. And then lean back. And see if you can just find the balance here, right? The centeredness of the pose. Good. Keep the heels on the floor, but dig them in and flex the feet. So again, we're working with these front shins, right? And then release the hands. And I want you to just do a little side stretches. So reach out, reach out. Good. And find this side body work. Dig the heels in. You got it. Come on. So 10, 9, dig the heels in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you feeling it? 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then drop the heels, see if you can touch your toes, and roll forward. Come on back. Open up the shoulders, hands go behind, lift the heels. Now, when you lift the heels off the floor, 90 degrees, right? Press your hands into your thighs and your thighs back. So I want resistance here as your chest lifts. And then just point your feet and flex them. Point and flex. Good. 3 more. Point and flex. Point, flex. Last one. Point, flex. Hold. Imagine you're going to take your chest toward your thighs. Let go of the arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and drop forward. You can either cross legs and drop forward, or you can bend the knees and roll over those knees, whatever feels really good to you. And come on up. Come on up. I told you there's more than one way to do a boat pose. All right, here we are again. We're not even at the Betty pose yet. Dig in through the heels. Open up the shoulders, lift the heels. Breathe, flex the feet. Release the arms. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And breathe. Easy, easy. Boat pose is getting easier and easier, I think, the more we do it. All right, so half boat. This is where we were coming to. I find the half boat way more challenging. You've really got to watch your back, I think, and you don't want to drop your head. Your neck should be neutral or slightly tucked so that you're not dropping weight behind you. So in half boat, right, we start to come down, we extend both the arms and the feet, and we work with our core right here, like, right? Breathe. 10, 9, 8. Squeeze your legs. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze yourself up. And breathe. That's it, right? How strong we're getting, right? It's always amazing. Slow, steady steps forward. And it works. It just works. All right. So one more half boat, just one more. I invite you to play the drums on your hard belly in half boat. We're going to do a count of 10. So come on down, find your spot. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push up. Good job. She's so silly sometimes. Move your blanket out of the way, everybody. Great fun. Why not? All right. Let's grab one block. Come on down to the floor. Breathe. Just pause here. Feet on the floor, knees are bent. Your block is just hanging out on your belly for now. Find your body. Grab the block lengthwise, right? Longwise. So the widest width, your palms are on either side. Take that block up to the ceiling. Long as it's okay for your shoulders, I want you to take that block back toward the floor behind you. And then take it up and bring it to your thighs. Good. Take it back. And forward. Make sure you're not lifting your chin here. And back. Just stretch. And forward. Good. Last one. Take it back. And forward. And then take the legs up toward the ceiling. You're going to take the block back over your head if it's okay. Now, if it's too low, just turn the block on edge and rest your hands on top of the block, right? So if it's too low for your shoulders, you can raise it up by using your block. Otherwise, you're just holding that block on the floor. Good. Lower just your right leg. Squeeze in through your belly. You don't have to lift low or lower low. Lift that up. Lower your left leg and up. Good. Just a few more. Lower the right and up. Press down through the ribs. Left side and up. Right side and up. We've got two more. Left side, two more sets and up. Right side. This is our second. And up. Left side and up. Bend your knees. Wrap your block around the front shins. Again, knees will dictate this, and just draw the legs in toward your chest. Let your feet come back to the floor. Take your block under your sacrum. I always say this, but keep that block well away from your lower back. It should be on that hard, bony sacrum below the hip line here. Your hands come to the floor. Your feet are on the floor, and I want you to lift the heels and drop. Just keep your hips down. Lift Heels are lifting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lower the heels, try to lift the toes a little bit harder, and then lift and lower for 10. So 10, 9, 8. We're all going to feel our shins. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press your feet into the floor. From here, lift off your block any amount that you can. See if you can lift. Come on to your ball mounds. Lift your heels. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can lower the heels and lift the toes. Pressing into the heels. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips, lower your feet. The last one here is simply to scrunch your toes. Try to lift your arches and then release. As if you were going to pick up the washcloth. Scrunch, release. We're only doing 5. Scrunch and release. 2 more. Scrunch and release. Last one. Scrunch and release, and then just pause. This is a restorative bridge. I want you to just sink in and breathe. It doesn't take much, everybody. Every day, in every way, we're getting better and better. And then making sure your block is sturdy. Bring the knees toward the chest and take the legs up. Nice little inversion here. I love this inversion. It's probably one of my favorites. This and its very close cousin, wall, legs up the wall. Breathe. There are ways to play with this with regard to your sacrum. So if your lower back is chatty, then either lower the sacrum so it is more on the block, or lessen it so it's a little bit more of a tilt, and see if that makes a difference. And breathe. Just let the legs be heavy. Let the hips be heavy, the shoulders. Good. Few more breaths here. And then bring the right knee to your chest. Very slowly lower your left leg toward the floor. So just a psoas stretch here. If it's too much, you can bend the left knee. Try not to pull the right knee to chest. Try to let it be neutral, even if your hands are holding it. And breathe. Bring the left knee in, switch sides, right leg long to the floor. Please don't pull on the left knee. I don't want you torquing the hips. Just stretching. Good. Bend the right knee, everybody. Both knees to chest. Squeeze them in, a little curled up stretch here. And then one foot to the floor, other foot to the floor. Lift the hips, take the blocks out. Lower down. Whew. And bring both knees to your chest. Stretch one leg out long. Stretch the other leg out long. Let's come to Shavasana, a well-earned Shavasana. And feel your whole body on the floor. Feel your legs, hips, and belly fully relaxed. Your arms are out at their sides. And find our breath. Feel yourself soften into the floor, fully relaxed. Every day, in every way, we are getting better and better, healthier and healthier, happier and happier. Find our breath. Take this time to let go. Take this time to be here in this moment. Go softer still. When you're ready, let's start to wiggle your toes and your fingers.
Draw your knees up toward your chest and rock side to side. And then let the knees roll to one side or the other. Curl over to fetal pose. And from fetal pose, find your seat. Bring your hands to your hearts and bow to your own inner strength, your inner compassion, your inner wisdom. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you all so much.